Good morning, Cruzy. Are you ready to go, buddy? Are you ready to go? Okay, ready. Whoa. Whoa. This was just about a close call. This thing is full with hot water. Not like smoking hot water, but hot enough. And it was on top of my stove, and there's even coffee in there still. Close call, bro, close call. Might as well use this water. No need to waste it. Whoa, that was good. Looks like another free rec site. It's awesome. Yeah, it's a free rec site. I didn't take out any bacon, so I have some frozen stuff. We're just gonna see if we can cook it this way. We're gonna thaw it out a little bit. The bacon worked. Hi, Cruzy. There you go, buddy. Everybody in this little town is so friendly. Pulled into the small town of McBride, I think it was. When you travel through so many towns all the time, you always kind of seem to forget which town you're in. That's why when someone always asks me, "Hey, Chrome, have you been here?" I'm like, I don't know. We go through so many little places. But this town of McBride is a pretty cute place. This is the main strip. There's the school. It's got Horseshoe Lake Supplies, a grocery store up here on one side, an insurance place, a really awesome looking GMC truck right there. Looks like a little hotel on this one side. I like little towns like this where people are still driving old cars. Heck yeah. Well, that was McBride, BC. Thank you, come again. There's a lot of gopher holes around here. Mr. Cruz is gonna flip out when he sees them. Is it that time of year that gophers are out? I'm pretty sure they're out all summer. A gopher hole, another one, another one that's a big one, a little one there. Oh, this trail really doesn't go anywhere. Or it once did, but not really anymore. Let's see what Cruzy likes of it. Okay. Looks like the last person that walked through here, this is where they turned around to. Yeah, the sign back there says that there's a trail in here. Clearly, it's just the fern garden. Hey, buddy. It's a jungle in here, isn't it, buddy? Well, I was excited to go for a little evening walk down here. Apparently, it's a bushwhacking trail. I don't think Cruz would like me if we shoved it any farther. Are you guys in there somewhere? What is that, buddy? You smell that? Can you smell that? Hey, is he in there? Where'd he go? Where'd he go, buddy? Is he in there? In the town of McBride, BC, which is right behind us here, me and Cruz were out for a little walk today, and this lady comes over because she sees the dog, and then she's asking me where we are from. And my usual response is, well, we live in that van over there, so we're kind of from wherever that van is parked that night. She's like, where are you from? I'm like, originally Vancouver, but me and the dog, we live in that van. And her face went from pure joy and excitement of seeing the dog to it just completely changed. And that sweet little heart of that lady was so deeply concerned about us. She's like, you live in that van? Oh, what happened? As she's touching her chest, she's like, what happened? And with the purest of purest smiles on my face, I was like, nothing happened. We live in the van because we needed a change in life, and this is the best decision I ever made. She's like, but it's so small. And then she starts asking all the usual questions like, what happens when it gets cold outside? What are you guys going to do this winter? Are you going to be safe? And ask me questions about the dog. And it was such a pure, sweet moment, and I thoroughly enjoyed talking to that lady, opening up my doors, showing her the home that we live in, and the look on her face when she's seen the inside of that was priceless. Those are moments where I wish I had cameras running at all times in my van so I don't miss these moments. But that, to me, my friends, was such a pure moment in my day today. She was so sweet. You want to stay outside? You want to stay outside, get some fresh air? I broke the top of my fridge. Look at this chunk ripped out of here and on this side. What it was is there's this little kind of wire that was attached to this, so when you flipped it open, it would stay open without flinging backwards. It was a poor design quality on their part. This was attached to a little metal block. The metal block was stuck in the foam, and that's it. Just pushed in the foam, I'm guessing when it was wet, then this went over top, and they were fingers crossing that the foam would hold it. Absolute failure. It had been pulling up a little bit here, a little bit there, and then finally today it just gave loose and kind of wrecked my lid. Kind of bummed out about it because they don't make this fridge anymore. This fridge is no longer a part of their manufacturing. And I don't know why, because this thing is so good. It's been banging down the back country and it just works every time. I don't know why they cut it, because I am a huge fan of this thing. So what I'm gonna do is we'll probably unscrew this from there, and I might just do this wire on the outside. I won't be doing this today, but I'll probably drive a screw through here and drive a screw through the side of the lid and just do the chain on the outside instead of the inside. You know, that's probably a better idea. They should have did that from the beginning. There's one more thing about this fridge that I'm not a huge fan of. Because both of these share the same lid space, the cooler air from here gets over into the freezer side, and then the freezer side gets super frosty over here because there's that constant bleed over of different temperature ranges. So my fridge, it says 4 degrees right now because it's open, is normally set at 0, and this is set at -16. So that's a huge temperature change for a little bit of a leak over. I did notice that the Iceco ones kind of is the same box design, really cool little gray color, and it has dual lids, which means each chamber is sealed within itself, not sharing its own kind of space. I don't know, it's just a little tidbit of info for you. I've never had these. Annie's rice pasta and white cheddar. I've always just used like the no-name brand mac and cheese. Thought I would give this a try just for fun. They're like little shells, and they're made of rice. Watching a little Grey's Anatomy. This is the first time I've ever made rice pasta, so this might be way overcooked.
I think it's really hard.
I do, unfortunately.
I'm sorry. I thought we were celebrating. I brought chocolates.
She's been digging up dirt on you. It's called research. I think that they have to do a lot of digging. Hospital hell. Thank you so much.
Don't thank me, thank all. She was gracious enough to allow you back into her department.
Decompression is good. Did someone ask you to babysit me? You have double-checked me on every step. Was it Karasik?
It wasn't anyone. I'm just really worried about Suzanne. Did you listen to her when we were putting her under?
She's not here for my feelings.
Oh, it feels nice. A little something that I find helps give me a more peaceful night's sleep is sometimes to explore the area that I'm sleeping, not like where I'm sleeping, because you don't want to like be walking around in your area. You just want to pull up and go to bed. Here at the rest area, it's a little bit different, but it's nice when you go to a spot and you get to go for a little walk through town and, you know, get a lay of the land and see some of the people that are in town and kind of get a better feel for it, you know? So your whole insides feels good about the place that you're calling home. If your insides don't feel good about the place you're at, then do not sleep there. Put your key in your home and move it somewhere that you feel safe and comfortable. Like here today, I feel like this is my piece of property. We've walked around and it's home for me right now. We got it all to ourselves. There's nobody here but us. We out in the middle of this highway somewhere. But I do find getting to know that area, even if it's for a half an hour before you go to bed, is amazing. I find I get a little bit of a restless sleep sometimes for whatever reason on places that I pull in that I'm unsure of. I'm like, whatever, I'm tired. I just go in the back and go to bed. If I was a little unsure, I'm like, well, I don't know about here, but it'll do. The second I have that thought is usually when I have a restless sleep or I get up a little extra earlier than I normally do. Like I'm a 4 a.m. kind of guy. Those would be the days where I get up at 3:30, sometimes 3. I've been there, done that before. I think that might be just because of the little bit of uneasiness when I went to sleep at night. I didn't feel like doing anything today. Nothing at all. And I think that might have a lot to do with my eating. I've been doing so bad lately. I've been on a downward spiral for a little while. And I'm a big emotional eater. Like if I feel stressed, I just shove stuff in my mouth. It's what I just always do. And I think lately, just with like the overwhelming amount of projects on this van and delays and things like that, I think I just ate myself into a fat frenzy. And I think that's done a lot for my mind too as well. So I've been trying, and I tried again today and it didn't work out. Here I am eating like mac and cheese before bed. It's just how I roll. It's how I've always been though. I know my habits and I know what's right and what's wrong. I know the direction that I need to move it. It's not like I haven't been here before, been here, done that and bounce back. It's just, I just need to keep traveling. And I think that might be a big part of it is I really missed that sense of wander, you know? Anyway, guys, I'm, just out here on the side of a road, living in my van and, sharing my world with you guys. There's probably no point to this video. Sometimes I turn my camera on and I just feel like I'm just kind of talking to myself sometimes. Sometimes I feel like maybe this is kind of like my therapy, you know? Gives me a way to talk through my thoughts and feelings. But I do really enjoy being out here. I like it that I'm on the side of a road and not in a big fancy apartment downtown Vancouver with a concierge at the front desk that I can call down and book the bowling alley that's in my building. Say what? Yeah, for real. I don't know if I told you guys this story, but the apartment building I moved out of before this thing, we had a concierge downstairs that when I walk in or walk out in the morning with the dog, he was like, "Good morning, Chrome." And that Disco at the time is like, good morning, Chrome, and good morning, Sir Disco. It was so cool. Like, I had someone say good morning and good evening and good afternoon to me anytime I was down there. Was really, really cool. But in my building, we had a humongous gym. Everything you could ever want out of a gym. I used to use the gym at that point. Not so much anymore. But we had a huge gym. We had steam rooms. We had saunas. We had a massive ballet studio. I don't know what, it was like more like an aerobics room with the ballet bar and stuff around. We had an aerobics room in there, a massive conference room. We could use any of these facilities anytime. We just got to call the concierge. Okay, it's Chrome in unit 2801. Can I book the conference room for tomorrow night at 8? Sure, Chrome, no problem. Awesome. But we had a 2-lane, 10-pin bowling lane. For real, in our building as a part of our amenities. So you literally, my daughter would come over, I'm like, what do you want to do today? She's like, can we go bowling? I'm like, yep. I call downstairs, book the bowling alley, and then her and I could just go right down in our building and put on bowling shoes because they were racked up on a shelf there. It was all digital, little iPad looking things. You push it, the pins drop, we grab all the balls, the 10-pin ones that they're heavy, and roll them. And she loved it because she used to run all the way down to the end and push them right at the pins because you're not allowed to be down that far. But it was in our apartment building, and the concierge guy would see it on camera and he would just laugh. It was crazy to go from those kind of luxuries. Like, my apartment was incredible. It was a perfect representation of what I thought life was supposed to be like. Beautiful view, all the beautiful stuff you'd ever want in a home when you bring the ladies back. It was breathtaking. And to just think that was just about 4 years ago. That's it. Just about 4 years ago. And now here I am, more excited about my life. Living inside of this awesome, tiny little tin can of mine that takes us into the backcountry and into the cities and into small towns and to the top of mountains and the bottom of valleys. And all my apartment gave me was the same damn view every damn day. There's bugs in here. There's mosquitoes flying around my little lights in here. It's from leaving the doors open. I used to have a concierge in my building. Are you kidding me? That was crazy. I remember moving into there. I'm like, there's a what? A concierge? What the heck is that? It was pretty wild, man. But yeah, I'm glad I experienced what I did, because if I didn't have those big fancy luxurious things, I don't think I'd feel this way about this van. You know, because I've been in the dirt. I've lived my whole life in like the cheapest of cheapest basement suites with crappy landlords because that's all I could afford. I had a job that I despised in a dangerous chemical, and we worked at dangerous chemicals all day, like the big drums of chemicals. You flip them right over. One of the top things is this is cancer causing. These are the things that I was exposed to on a daily, and a boss that drove me nuts. And you know, at that time I was broke and doing the best I could. And then when things got a little bit better financially, because I had the day job plus I was DJing, so then there was a bit more money, so then I could afford a fancier condo and break away from all the low budget places that I was living in. So what I was doing, and this was completely wrong, what I was doing is I was buying material things to make it look like I was doing well. Like, I would finance a car that I couldn't afford because it looked good and it looked good on my image. All those things. I had an apartment that I could barely afford, but I thought because if I lived in a nice place with a concierge and all those other kind of things, if I lived that life I couldn't afford, maybe my life would slowly become that life that I could afford. It was just a weird, twisted way of things. You know, people thought, hey, look, Chrome's doing pretty good. I wasn't. I was broke with just a lot of fancy, nice things. You know, I'm glad that I went through all those things in my life to just now go backwards. 4 years ago, drop all the fancy stuff, move into this thing, live basic, live simple, live the life that I could afford at the time. It literally was very humbling to actually back my whole world up and put it to where it should have been, where I could afford it. Because if I would have backed life up to where I could afford it and stop living life for other people's image of me, because that's ended up what it was ended up becoming, and I back life up and be what I could afford, that life would give me what I deserved. And that's what happened. I backed the whole train up, quit everything that I hated, moved into this thing, and now look at YouTube's been doing really well. We've got a little bit of money in the bank. I can afford to do projects like this on the van and travel a little bit. What more could you want in life? I don't need a concierge or a bowling alley in my building to give me those life experiences. Even though that was a life experience that, you know, I'm glad I did. But this life experience, the life experiences I've had in the last 4 years living in this thing, is what's defining my path for the next 5 years. These are the memories that I'm going to sit down when I'm super old and remember, man, remember when I did that when I was 45 years old and 47 years old, we did this, and oh, when I was 50, man, we traveled to here. It's going to be wild, man. This van is definitely carving out a world of memories for me, and I feel these moments sometimes. And believe it or not, it's moments like this one, sitting here on the side of a highway at a rest area alone. In the dark pretty soon. Just me and my dog. Boy, life couldn't be any better. Life is simple. When you get rid of all that clutter that you think defines you. It don't. It's hard for me to say that because I'm surrounded by things that are valuable to me. I've poured my heart and soul into this van. Look at this place, dude. Unbelievable. Okay, guys, we're gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna go watch some more Grey's Anatomy. I'm hoping that season just stops on Netflix. I think we're on season 16 because I'm hooked on it. It's just got to stop. It's one of those TV series that you get into. You know, when you get into a series and it's only got three seasons, and then you start watching this one, I'm like, these seasons just, do they ever stop? All right, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. And I really honestly appreciate the friendship. I appreciate the conversation and appreciate having somebody to get these things out to. Because we are alone out here. We got you guys. Both me and Cruz. We got you. See you guys tomorrow.